Hi everyone, today I wanted to share my 2022 budget sheet with you all, and we're going to use Empower, which is an app for both iOS and Android, to go and partner with this sheet. So let's go ahead and take a look at the app. So here we can see a Cracker Barrel transaction categorized as dining and drinks. We can click change, and then if we wanted to change the category, we can. Let's say it wasn't dining and drinks. And what's great about Empower is you can link your bank account, so debit card, your credit cards and everything, so you can capture every transaction you're using regardless of what card you're spending with. The only problem with that is cash. And if you go to our account, you can see here we have categories, so you can add your own category like I did there, and then the main categories are all the default categories. And Empower is really good at auto categorizing your transactions. And so you want to add a category, you can come in, type in the name, select an icon, and then you're done. All right, now let's take a look at our Excel sheet. So here's what a standard month would look like. I'm in April because I put in dummy data for January, February, and March. So we have our categories, which we talked about from the Empower app. We have our cost. So this is where you're going to fill in what you spent in that category for that month. We have our budget, and then this is the percent of the budget. So if we spend $80 on auto insurance and we budgeted 100, then we spend 80% of our budget for that category. Percent of total spent, which helps you figure out, okay, where's my money going? And then percent of total earned. And the goal always is to spend less than you make. Here we have our monthly income. You're going to manually enter this. That's what's calculating in here. So let's say you made $5,300 this month between your combined incomes, your income, whatever. So now we have a percentage of income spent. And let's see, total monthly expenses. This will auto-populate based off of these costs. So like if I put $100 in for here, we can see, we can see so far we spent $100, and that's 2% basically of our income. And you can see here, percent of budget's 100, percent of total spent's 100 because we've only spent $100 this month. This budget section is pulling from the budget tab over here. So here we have our categories. Here's our 2022 budget, and this is what you're budgeting for that category each month. And for some things, I would recommend adding up what you spend for the year and divide by 12. So for example, pets, I'm not spending $75 a month on my pets, but I am getting, cat food every other month, cat litter every other month, and, vet visit once a year. So, I might spend $150 one month, and then the next month, nothing. So the average though is $75 a month. So some of these categories, sometimes you'll overspend, sometimes you'll underspend. And we'll get into that. So that's our budget. If I update a value here, let's say I change 50 to 75 and I hit enter, and I go back to our month and we look at our budget for kid, it's now 75. So if I go back here and I update it back to 50, it's now $50. And then here is our year summary. So these values are NA for not active. And I'll show you. So if we jump over to January, I put in some dummy data based off of a $5,300 income, and the active is 0. So if I flip this to 1, we are now pulling that data and we're averaging it. So this is taking an average where it's not NA. So there's only one thing here for it to average on. And we do the average because we revisit our budget every year at the end of the year. We look at our averages for the categories to help us make our budget for the next year. So for example, I can look at my 2021 budget and say, okay, I averaged $200 for eating out, not $250. So dining and drinks here, let's say like this was my budget, I would maybe change this to $200. Then I am saving an extra $50. And I can maybe put that money somewhere else. Or gas. Let's say you work from home now. Maybe you ended up spending $75 per month. Well, then for your next year's budget, you can change that. So that's just the way that you can figure things out. And then we have our total spent. So if we look at our January, these are our values. We, let's say, overspent on our pets. Shopping, we went to town with, $433 instead of $100. There's some categories I don't use, like home goods and other stuff. I keep 0 and I just put that in shopping. Shopping's like, if I go buy a couch, that goes into shopping, $800, boom. If you're budgeting $100 a month, that's $1,200 that you can spend on stuff. I do have personal care, so like that doesn't have to include makeup or body washes or things like that. Entertainment for us is like if we go out to a movie, which we don't really do anymore because of COVID, but like this is all our streaming services and things. Now, this isn't my actual budget. This was just something I made up. So let's go ahead and flip February to active. So I think I undercut February and I tried to make this one a little bit over budget. So if we look at our summary, we're now summing 2 months and you can see our averages here. And then it continues. So we go ahead and flip this one to active, March. And I intentionally made March a super expensive month, as you can see. So like I said, auto repair, like, oh, you had a big car repair. So $600 right there. And again, we can go back to our year summary and you can see we fill it in at our summary. That's now calculated in our averages. And then this bottom is the total expenses for that specific month, the total earned for that month, which is what you have to type in, and then the difference. So we were plus $51, plus over $1,000, and then we were down $1,400. And then this is for the year. And I think with April, I'm going to make that 0 again so we don't calculate that. Oh, and I also added in a cost there. Let me make that 0 too. So you can see through 3 months, if this was someone's budget and we were April, you can see overall we're down $300. So even though we had a really bad month in March, because we had a good month in February and we stayed on budget for January, overall we're not too far off from being in a deficit, right? We just maybe April be a little more cost conscious and we can reach a difference of 0 again. Because again, the goal is to make more than you spend. I hope you guys found this useful. Please leave a like if you found any of this useful, or if you're going to use it, or if I inspired you in any way. Please subscribe to find your way back for more content if you like this style of content, and I hope you all have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye.